Welcome. I'm the Deadwood Jedi, and I thought today I would do another spotlight video. This one on oh, I need to look at his shit, right? I'm not ready. I'm not there yet. Okay. Welcome. I'm the Deadwood Jedi, and today we're doing another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today it's going to be a spotlight video, a champion spotlight, a champion look, a look at one champion. This one is going to be Suwai the Firstborn. Suwai Firstborn. Suwai Firstborn? Suwai Firstborn. Not the Firstborn. I'm sure there's many Firstborns out there. I'm a Firstborn, but Suwai Firstborn. Welcome. I'm the Deadwood Jedi, and today we're doing another Raid Shadow Legends video. You can see I'm in my account today, and that's because we're doing a champion spotlight video. This one on Suwai Firstborn. Now, this is a champion I've had for a while. Void, epic champion. Not really had any use, but she's one of those champions that was reworked in the recent patch. And I've been using her kind of extensively lately in a few different ways, testing her out, trying to see where she's useful. And I'm not sure that she's great, but she is way better than she was. And there's definitely a place for her in this game. I think she's really fun to use. I think she looks amazing. So I want to go ahead, get in, look at the champion a little bit, just talk a little bit about her kit, and then I want to show her in a couple of different areas of the game. I think we're going to try her out in Arena because I think she can be useful there. We're going to try her out in Dungeons because she can be useful there. We're also going to use her in Clan Boss because she's surprisingly good in that. And I think for a few different builds. Haven't tried her for everything, but definitely tried her in a couple different things, and she can smack. Let me just tell you, she does some real serious damage. So let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, so this is Suwai Firstborn. She looks amazing. Like most barbarians, not wearing a whole lot of clothing, but her armor looks dope, man. Like this arm leg thing. We got the pauldrons here on the side. Like, she looks awesome. I like the asymmetrical thing, even with the haircut and the tattoos. She looks great, and she's fun to play with. I think that's important too. Now, just so you guys have an idea, like the skills she's bringing in, before she really didn't have a whole lot going on skill-wise. She was just pretty much a damage dealer that wasn't built that well for it. Now she's actually bringing some utility to the table. So on her A1, she has a chance to place decreased defense. And if she kills someone, she gets herself an increased attack and crit damage buff. Now, the killing someone and getting these buffs on her A1, I'm not a huge fan of, quite frankly, because the A1's not our hardest hitter, so it's not going to come up all that often. It's nice when it does, but it's not something you can bank on. The decreased defense on an A1 ability, though, that can be really good, but it is single target, so not great for things like arena or dungeon waves, but good against bosses. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, it is only a 50% chance. There is no booking it up. It's just straight damage. It hits okay, but nothing crazy. So there's some utility there. It's good against bosses, and that's pretty much it. The next skill is this Utter Rampage, or A2 ability. This one, it's again single target, but there's some other stuff going on. So the first attack, it hits one enemy, and then it attacks all enemies with the second hit if it's critical. So if you can build her with a 100% crit rate, this does become an AoE attack, and the second attack deals 80% of the damage from the first hit. And the second attack can't crit, but it's going to do a lot of damage. You're going to see, especially against the clan boss and the other bosses, how much damage it does. It almost doubles the damage of this ability. Makes this skill very, very strong. I actually like this skill even in arena because it does become an AoE hit. A double hit on your single target and AoE for the rest of the comp. I mean, that's a Rotos killer if I ever heard of one. It does a lot of damage in general. So this one's really, really good. And then the last one is Deaden Reactions. Now, I should go back. Utter Rampage, books down. It's to a 3-turn cooldown. Deaden Reactions books down to a 4-turn cooldown. This one will put a weaken debuff before the attack, which is nice. And then it books up to 100% chance for that to land. So this is basically weaken on the A3. You got decreased defense on the A1. You can already see the synergy there. Now, this one hits very hard. I do like it a lot, but again, single target. So when I look at Suwai and what her kit is, she's a single target damage dealer, or she's an excellent debuff placer against a single target. But AoE stuff, not her game. So as long as we can keep those things in mind, we can figure out how to use her and how to use her effectively. Because the A1, the A3, they need a little bit of help to really place. Neither of these are like great damage things against anything but bosses. You can try to use them in like arena, but we're not trying to place these debuffs in arena on one target. That's not the idea. The idea is to nuke somebody down and kill them as quick as we can. So when you're talking about the debuffs, she's great against bosses, not against anything else. So when you're facing spiders, for instance, you're facing dragon, you're facing any of the dungeons, these are going to be really strong abilities. Facing clan boss, it's great. When you're in arena, not so great. Now, just so you have an idea of the way I built her, I have her built kind of for my clan boss team right now. So I would probably take Arcane Celerity to get her some more turn meter if I was going to use her for other areas of the game. But otherwise, these are pretty good. A chance to extend the debuffs is nice because they aren't super frequent. Cycle of Magic to get those cooldowns for those big hit abilities back. Those are all good. And then offensively, I'm just going down, as I said, Clan Boss. You can go a more traditional dungeon route with this. You can come over here, take Whirlwind of Death. You can get Ruthless Ambush, so their first hit is harder. Take Heart of Glory, so their first hit is harder. Down here to Wrath of the Slain, or, you know, really whatever you want. Cycle of Violence is a good one. And then probably finish it off with either Helm Smasher or Flawless Execution to really up the damage for things like arena and dungeons. I, of course, have War Master because I want her in Clan Boss at the moment. So just so you have an idea of that, artifact-wise, how do I have her geared? I have a lot of speed. This is, again, for my Clan Boss team. But I got a lot of attack on her, a lot of crit rate, a lot of crit damage, and accuracy, so I can land those debuffs. The great thing about her, she has good base stats. If you look, 1,000 defense is pretty good base stat. 1,300 is okay on the attack, and 14,000 HP is low. So the one thing she has going for an attack champion is good base defense. That means you can build her for a traditional clan boss team. Now, how much damage is she going to do? That's a great question. I would build her similar to like a Draco. A Draco also has about 1,000 defense base, and you can build them for attack, trying to balance out the attack and the defense on a Draco morph, and will still do pretty good damage. I think Suwai, you kind of want to build in a similar fashion if you're bringing her in for a traditional clan boss team. If you're bringing her in for an unkillable team, I think that she really shines, because when you don't have to worry about building her defense, then you can really up the crit rate, the crit damage, the accuracy, and the attack, which isn't easy to do. She doesn't have a super high attack. So if you can build her for an unkillable team, I think she shines even more than usual. Now, she is not consistent with those debuffs, so one thing you do want to do is bring in a debuff extender if you can. If you can't, totally cool. She's going to be fine. She's just not going to be super consistent, especially with that 50% chance on the A1. So that's Suwai the Firstborn. Mastery-wise, you go down the defensive tree and get Retribution so you can get some counterattacks in, or you can go ahead and go support tree like I did and try to extend them with Master Hexer. Let's go ahead and take her into some dungeons and see what she can do. So first off, let's go ahead and take her into dragons. And I'm going to go ahead and show her with this team. So basically I have Bad L to keep us alive. I'll go ahead and bring in Arbiter here just so we can get through it a little faster. I have Royal Guard. And then you're going to see Tyrell for the decreased defense. I'm not going to use Arbiter's ability to put the increased attack first. We'll see how it goes without that first, and then we'll move into it. So let's go ahead and see kind of damage she can do. So we're just going to go ahead and start. I'll just get a little bit speed buff there. And then let's get that decreased defense out. And so now we can do one of two things. When I'm targeting single person, I can come in with the weaken and just bomb it in. Or we can try and do this AoE hit. Let's go ahead and see what the AoE hit does here. Well, let's aim for Horde in there and just see how it goes. So you can see 2 hits. The first one's 55k, and the other one, of course, not critical, for about 32k. So decent damage. Nothing crazy, but pretty decent. Across the board, that's not too shabby, right? But what happens when we really start moving that up and spin some stuff up. We get her increased attack. All of a sudden, we might see a little bit more damage output coming through here. So I'm going to go ahead and use the A3, this weaken ability, and we can see what kind of damage. We'll go ahead and Tyrell. Strong defensive champ. But let's see what kind of damage we can do. 122k. That's a lot of damage. 122k is a lot of damage. Basically one-shotting him, taking him down to almost nothing. So she can do some serious work, especially when she gets that increased attack buff, which I think is kind of crucial for her to have that. She's not a super nuker. Even like a Rotos or Candrafon or a Trunda, that is not her game. But if you can get her some increased attack, she can do some work. And when you're talking about things like the arena, that is something you try to do. So let's see her A1 here against Crossbowman. 64k, solid, nothing great. Those last two attacks are the ones that are really going to do the damage for her. So you're going to want to keep that in mind when you're using her. She's not like a super damage dealer, but you can see she does work out there. When she strikes hard. That's why I find her really kind of impressive. For an epic champion, I think she does a heck of a lot of damage. Not going to be on par with legendaries, but does a lot of damage for an epic. Okay, so let's see what we can't do here against the dragon. We don't have attack down, so it's going to be a little bit of a waiting game here. So that's her double hit, right? 57k, 25k, not bad, nothing great. We don't have weaken up. Again, 50k, that's on the A1 there. And I think we should be getting, you can see that was the A1 right there. Got 70 some odd K on that. That's pretty solid. I want to kind of see what she can do here with that A3 ability against the dragon. All right, let's go ahead and give her attack up. We do have weaken. We do have decreased defense. So I'm going to show you guys this A2 ability against the bosses. It is insane, the kind of damage, because of the double hit. 1, 2, 122k, 100k plus 50k from the War Master proc. That's 220,000 just off a normal hit. I mean, that's pretty significant. It's not as strong as, say, Royal Guard, but that is not a weak amount of damage. Here comes her A3 ability. Boom, 154k. She can hit, especially against the bosses. So I find her to be quite good. Now, would I say that she's a dungeon champion? No, probably not. Because she doesn't do a whole heck of a lot against the waves. So that's not somewhere I would necessarily bring her in. And that goes for Ice Golems, Spiders, Fire Knights, Dragon. I don't think she shines in any of those spots because she's single target, which is fine. That's great. But it takes a while for those debuffs to land. So even against Spiders, she's not going to be a great champion for decreased defense and weaken. It's not consistent. The weaken is, the decreased defense isn't. And while she does great single target damage, she's not going to help you out with the Spiderlings. She's not going to help you out with the waves on either of those. So I don't feel like that's the spot you use her. One spot I feel like you can use her is in Arena. Now, finding an appropriate Arena opponent for this kind of thing is a little tricky, but let's go ahead and bring her in here. I'm going to bring in, let's go ahead and bring in Arbiter. I'll use Siffy for protection. Let's get Suwai here to deal the damage, if I can find her. That's probably just rank it up would be a little easier. Okay, where is she at? There she is. And then I would like to get decreased defense out. So let's go ahead and use Madame Saris. That'll be perfect. And you can see exactly how hard she hits. Now, she has weaknesses, especially in Arena. One of them being I have not built her tough. So when she takes damage, it does not go pleasantly. Okay, so she actually is going ahead of my Madame Saris. I forgot how fast she is. So we can go ahead and see what kind of damage she does. Let's go ahead and try and smack Arbiter here. So first hit, boom. Second hit, so took Arbiter completely out of the fight right there. I think that's pretty remarkable, quite frankly. 40k and then pass it along. Pretty nice. And then we can go ahead and see if I can get to her again. Let's see how much damage she does. So, okay, let's take this A3 for a spin. And boom, 167k. Completely wipes him out. Pretty solid stuff right there. Pretty solid stuff. Let's see if do I have anybody faster than her for this role? Because I would like to see how she can do when she gets the decreased defense ahead of her. Actually, let's see if I can just speed her up a little bit here. 123. She's really fast. All right. Let's see if I can't do this. Would like to do this quickly if I can. Equipped. Primary stat. Accuracy. Give me somebody faster. There you go. Let's do that. All right, great. All right, should be faster. Madam Sarah should go first now. I'm pretty sure. Right? Yeah, she's going to go first. All right, so now we should be able to get the decreased defense down, and we can really see how she smacks. Oh, of course, they go first, so that makes it all moot. Let's get out of this. I need to go first against somebody so we can see exactly what we're dealing with. All right, this should be fine if we can go first. There we go. All right, we get our block debuffs up. Speed up. Let's strip it. And then here we go. So we're going to go ahead and try for Duchess. As she actually, let's go for Duchess. So boom, 100k on the first hit. And you can see the damage that was inflicted on everybody else after that. Just incredible amounts of damage there. Boy, that was something. So yeah, she is effective, to say the least. Now, is she a preeminent damage dealer for Arena? No. But she can do some work, and that in itself is pretty solid, I think. Yeah, that was pretty good. So let's get that increased attack up. All right, let's go ahead and bring in the A3. We're gonna just go and take Duchess out. Boom, 71k. Duchess is a high defensive champion. That is not someone easy to put down, and we just silenced her like nothing. So she can do work. But you can see that first hit is AoE, and after that, it gets a little dicey. We don't have any more AoE attacks out of her. At this point, it is almost exclusively single target damage, which is difficult to deal with. Though you can see there, 40k, and we get that increased crit damage and increased attack buff on her, so that's always nice. But, yeah. So I think if you don't have one of the legendary nukers, and you're really starved for somebody that can help you out in that department, I do feel like she is a good alternative. Is she great? Probably not. But let's see. Here comes her A2 again. Whack. We didn't get the crit off there. She doesn't have 100% crit rate. It's definitely something I would advise getting. I was using her with Kreela before, so it's just a little bit different from how we would normally have it. Okay. Sure. And let's go ahead and put him in the ground. That A3, though, gosh, 133,000 damage with really no buffs up. That is very strong. Nearly put him down. Unfortunately, takes it all back. And so you can see there's strengths and there's weaknesses. And we ended up losing. So one of the strengths is she can hit incredibly hard. Whoop. One of the strengths is... Nope. So one of the strengths is she can hit incredibly hard. One of the weaknesses is she doesn't take a hit all that well, and it's all single target stuff. Now that A2 ability is strong and does a lot of damage across the board, but the thing is that second hit isn't necessarily enough to take out their entire team. So unless you have contingency plans for it, it can be a little wonky as far as like, am I going to win this or am I going to survive this? And so I think she's good in Arena. Is she great? No, but she's pretty solid. She definitely can do some work. If you have a secondary attack champion like, say, Skullcrown, for example, is actually an excellent choice. I think she can be a wonderful combination with that. So if, for example, you don't have Arbiter lead, I think you pair a Skullcrown with her as the lead champion. You bring in your speed booster, your debuffer, and then Suwai hits, and then Skullcrown finishes it off. I think that's an excellent way to go about it. But I think you do kind of have to build it in that sort of fashion. I think she makes a very good secondary attacker for an Arena squad. Now, the last thing I want to show you guys is Clan Boss. So I'm going to show you some clips from a video I'm going to show in the next day or two about a new Clan Boss team. So I'm not going to show the whole run, but I'm just going to show you what Suwai can do. This is an unkillable team with double man-eater. So it keeps us unkillable, though we take damage, and it does keep us affinity friendly, at least for part of the fight. So I'm going to show you the kind of crazy damage she can do. Now, I do have her paired up with Kreela. And Kreela gives an increased crit rate as well as increased attack buff, and so that makes her crit damage 100% in this scenario. So I don't have to worry about it. She's always getting that second hit from that A2 ability, and everything hits really strong. So let me go ahead. I'm going to show that to you guys right now, and then we'll come back and kind of talk about her afterwards. So guys, that is Suwai Firstborn. I think she's a very, very good champion. I think she's very cool. I've been really trying to make her really good for the last, I don't know, week or two, honestly. She's solid. Would I say that she is a great champion? No. But for an epic, she actually does a heck of a lot of work. I don't think you would necessarily regret building her up. But you want to make sure if you're building her that you're building her specifically for certain things. If I'm using, I think she can be very good and do quality damage against the clan boss, even in a more defensive kind of build, a more traditional clan boss team. She's going to give you that decreased defense. She is going to give you that weaken. So if you don't have someone that does that, Draco or a Rosin, she actually might be an excellent source of those kind of debuffs. Even paired with like a Tayrell who gives you decreased defense some of the time, that might be enough to give you that debuff more close to 100% of the time. You do want to bring in, I think, if you can, pair her with a Septimus or a Vizier, someone that can keep those debuffs 100% of the time. That's going to be really strong too. That said, she is a single target attacker. Her A1 is not super strong. So even if you're bringing her into Clan Boss, she's going to be really good on like 2-1 teams to keep those debuffs up. But her A1 isn't the strongest thing in the world. What you really want is that A2 and that A3. She will do crazy damage though. She'll do 300k on a single A2 hit. Easy. Which is kind of bonkers, sort of on par with a Septimus, who's a legendary attack champion as far as the damage that can be done. So she's quite good, but I don't think she's like top notch. I would probably rather have Aina as another Void epic champion for that kind of work. But I think if you have her, you'll be happy to have her. I think you can build her up and find ways to use her. I do not think that if you have other options that you should build her instead. If you have a Zargala, I would build a Zargala because she's going to help you more in waves. She's going to help you more in arena. I do feel like there are probably better options out there, but I do like this champion. She's not trash. She is good. There are ways to use her in this game. I would not say she's necessarily an end game champion, but if she's one of the few epics you have, I think building her up would be a good choice. I don't think that would be a negative. She's going to help you with dungeon bosses. Not so much the waves, but definitely with the bosses. She's going to do a lot of good work for you. And I think she can help you a lot in Clan Boss. So not my first choice, but definitely up there, especially for an epic champion. I think she's well balanced and has a really solid place in this game. So guys, if you found this helpful, go ahead and hit the like button down below, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. That is always important so you know when my next video is out. But really, always a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully you found this information helpful. Till next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.